Hello, everybody. You are watching Out of Order. My name is Anthony Buono.
My name is Ben Mayer.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the rise of a far-right party in Greece and actions that the country's Supreme Court has taken to stop, halt, slow their rise to power. This is a topic that we've talked about a lot on the show. We've talked a lot about the rise of the far right in the United States, in Germany, in France, in India recently as well. We've talked about the rise of these far-right, ethnic-oriented parties, and I think it's important that we see how other countries are dealing with the same problems and seeing how their institutions are trying to combat against their rise. So I want to give a little breakdown what's going on here. So Greece's Supreme Court has found that the Spartans, that's the name of the far-right party.
It's a good party name.
It's a cool name, bro.
Yeah, it's a
cool name.
Good party name.
The Spartans were simply a rebrand of a previous neo-Nazi party and could not appear on the European parliamentary election ballot.
Okay.
They're not going to be allowed to be there.
Okay.
So this is a whole long story here, but we need to talk about what is the previous neo-Nazi party if we're to understand this Supreme Court decision. So this neo-Nazi party was called Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn came to prominence in the wake of the 2009 financial crisis. We all remember Greece going bankrupt, Germany bailing them out. That was a big international story. And they were actually the third largest party in the 2015 parliament. They were only getting around 7% of the vote, I think, but Greece is really a two-party system.
Okay.
So the fact that there was even a third party that was getting that high up there was notable. The party was formed by Nicholas Maliakos?
Not even close.
I'm Greek and I don't know. It's fine.
Mikaloliakos.
I'm going to call him Nicholas G.
Yeah.
All right? G's a middle name. So Nicholas G, all right? He traffics in pretty intense Holocaust denial stuff. He's pretty much flat out. He's questioned the numbers of the Jews who died. It's kind of his vibe, all right? He's a bad dude.
It's not a great vibe.
It's not a good vibe. You don't want to be hanging out with fucking Nick G, okay? He also has some pretty blatant admiration for Nazi Germany, and a lot of his these guys are insane.
Still not a good vibe.
No, still not a good vibe. Listen, the Golden Dawn is crazy. Okay,
Okay.
So they framed their admiration of Nazi Germany around notions of nationalism and order and the rule of law, and didn't explicitly endorse all of the aspects of Hitler's regime. But when you start endorsing aspects of Hitler's regime, we are allowed to question the motivations behind that. Obviously.
Of course. I mean, considering that most neo-fascist parties try to go at it quietly, it's pretty shocking and should be a major red flag when they're this open about it.
He even talked very highly about the two military dictatorships and far right-wing leaders of Greece in the 1920s, 30s. So he's already been... Okay, anyway. So this is the Golden Dawn. 2005, they're becoming big. After the murder of one of Golden Dawn's political opponents, Pavlos Vissas, a lot of the party members were held in jail for suspicion of being guilty in the crime and forming a criminal organization. And so this rapper, Pavlos Vissas, he was an anti-fascist rapper. That was his thing. And so this guy ends up dead. The Golden Dawn party members get found and charged for criminal conspiracy.
Holy shit.
A lot of these party members have been sentenced to 13... Oh, I'm sorry. And Nicholas G has been sentenced to 13 years in jail for murder.
Oh, my God.
The Golden Dawn then went on to lose all of their seats in 2019. So that was the rise and fall of 2019, this 10-year period.
Okay.
But now, the Golden Dawn is rebranding. And that's where the Spartans come into play. After the arrest of many of the leaders, previous far-right members of parliament have urged their supporters to go to the Spartans. So now previous Golden Dawn elected officials are formally endorsing Spartan politicians running for office.
Yeah.
And the court said blatantly, the new party is simply a substitute for Golden Dawn, serving as a front that allow them to circumvent eligibility restrictions. The Greek Supreme Court said that the Spartans aims at the weakening and demise of the democratic political system, particularly through the use of violence or incitement to violence. It also, the court said, embraced totalitarian ideologies, bigoted ideas, xenophobia, and crime against humanity.
It's nice to see that Europe already kind of has this down while we're trying to work on it right now.
Yeah.
For the first time.
You said it's nice to see that. I think it's nice to see that because like there's a blueprint we could take, but we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Do you think this is something that could be tolerated in America?
No.
Damn.
No, not until we had our own Holocaust here.
Yeah, I think that's what it would. I feel like that's what it would take.
Yes,
I think people don't understand how good you have it and how dangerous this stuff is until it happens in your backyard.
Totally.
You know?
Totally. I mean, because we haven't. I mean, Holocaust or whether it's I don't know. Like you could imagine a version of China that becomes a democracy in 50 years.
Yeah,
and they put in their own safeguards against a genocide against the Uyghurs.
Sure.
But we haven't had anything really like that. I mean, the closest thing we're getting to that is how Trump treated migrants.
Well, really the closest we got to that was the Japanese
internment
camps,
camps,
right?
Camps.
That's
sure.
like the close, but even that is like a very different thing than the Holocaust and everything.
Yes.
Well, the Spartan politicians, okay, they do not view that the court's decision is legitimate. They hold no respect for the decision, and they're blatantly just shitting on the institution. Which is pretty classic far right-wing behavior. This is dangerous for a lot of reasons, but it's coming at a time when far-right parties across Europe are growing. We have Italy being run by a far-right party. We have the German AfD party currently facing some issues in the polls, but still very strong. We have Le Pen and the National Rally, or the National Front. I think it's the National Rally party now. They're only growing more powerful, and it looks like Le Pen may be the next president of France. So it just seems Europe is taking a rightward shift, and if Greece is doing the right thing, and other countries have to be prepared to do the same, if they want to uphold their democracy and keep it strong.
Yeah, the problem is the AfD and Le Pen's party are not
as blatant.
Exactly,
they're not as blatant.
They're more subtle.
The National Rally is just not as blatant as the Spartans are. The Spartans are very clearly are what they are, and they're proud of it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Le Pen and the AfD make anti-Muslim comments, but they can couch them in anti-immigrant comments, which feels like valid policy. Yeah,
and one of the things that we've said on a video a while ago now is the new fascism won't come in military garb and sharp edges. It's going to come with hearts and rainbows, and it's going to try to, hide itself behind good feelings and trick you.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now with the AfD and Le Pen. And I just, I'm glad Greece made this progress to try to keep the Spartans out of power and keep less far-right parties from gaining seats in the European Parliament. That's for sure.
Agreed.
Thank you for watching this episode of Out of Order.
I can't believe you made it to the end.
If you like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you really like us, check us out on Patreon.
This week, one of our videos is about Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, and his tours to China and the Middle East.
Our other video is talking about Biden's new regulations in school meals about sugar and sodium content.
And then this week, we did a deep dive into why the U.S. and European economies are diverging so much.
Thanks, guys. See you on the next episode.